A few years ago, I bought a Paulin Neo B while I was at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I believe that's where I bought it because I bought it in New York City somewhere and they had it in a display. I was taken by the watch immediately. I found out that the dial was actually made by Anne Ordain, so I really wanted this watch. It was already on my radar and I ended up buying it. I really loved that watch. I actually ended up selling it for pretty bad reasons. Again, to fund another watch. If you watch my channel, you know I do that very often. Today, we're taking a look at what I think is a sort of an elevated version of that Neo B. This is one of their latest releases. The dial is very similar to that Neo B, not in color, but in style. However, you're getting a way higher end movement inside this watch. It has a Le Jeu Perret versus the original, which had a NH35. This is sort of a barrel case. They make it either in a manual wind or an automatic. I have the automatic to show you guys today. The connection to Anne Ordain, who I already really love, but their watches are very hard to get, and they have enameled dials, which are very nice as well. This is something a little bit more avant-garde. So let's take a hands-on look at one of Paulin's latest releases. This is not the first yellow-dialed Paulin that I have featured here on my channel. I actually purchased one of their Neos. I believe it's called a Neo. It had a mustard yellow dial that was made by Anne Ordain. I bought it through, I think it was the Museum of Modern Art here in New York. I can't really remember. It was a while ago. I ended up selling that watch to fund another watch. This is a theme here on the Watch Chris channel, and I regretted selling that watch because the dial was just so cool. And it was just a really different watch. And I love watches that are different. And that's what Paulin offer. They're technically, in my opinion, I would call them a micro independent brand. Why do I call them that? Well, because they have their own design DNA. When you see these watches on someone's wrist, you're going to know it's a Paulin. If you're familiar with the brand, you'll know exactly what they are wearing. And that's very difficult to do, and not a lot of micro brands can pull that off. And when they do, I call them a micro independent brand. Also, they're offering some really high quality. The movement inside here is a Le Jeu Perret. It's the G101. It's a very slim movement. It gets blued screws, Geneva striping, and you get to see it from the back. It looks very similar to its cousin, the 9000 series from Miyota. However, it is made by Le Jeu Perret and it is a Swiss-made movement. This is a modular case design. So it's something that you don't immediately notice, but when you turn the watch on its side, you're going to see, of course, that large signed crown, but there are two holes right here. Those are screws holding the case together. So this is basically a two-part case. There is an outer portion that is brushed in stainless steel. Then there is an inner portion that is coated with a DLC coating in black. That's in stainless steel, of course. You have a screwed-in case back. But with that being said, it is the dial that is the showstopper here. This is the yellow dial. It's made by Anne Ordain. I actually confirmed that recently with Paulin. That was sort of a question. I couldn't find that information on their website anymore, but they did confirm these dials are still made by Anne Ordain, and they make some beautiful dials. I'm not sure if they're doing the assembly of these watches also. If I find out that information, I'll put it down in the description below. But this yellow dial version is very distinct to Paulin. When you look at the font, you immediately realize that is a font that they use on most of their watches. Their indices that are printed on the dial, they're in a baby blue color. You have an orange second hand. You have stainless steel hour and minutes hands. Their stick hands, the hour hand is polished. The minutes hand is brushed. There's a little skeletonized portion at the end of that minutes hand. Also, that hour hand has a square at its base, while the minutes hand has a circle at its base. And then, of course, you have that seconds hand, which is an orange with a circle at its base. Really cool that they do this. A very bespoke set of hands, a very bespoke looking dial as well. It is a matte finish dial. I love the style of these watches. It's almost like pop art. I think that's the reason why they were probably selling them at MoMA, or I believe they still sell them at MoMA. It makes a lot of sense because this very much gives you an artsy feel. You also get a really nice case here. There is a very nice line of polish. It's brushed really nicely. The feeling of the case, the crown, everything here feels like a very well-made watch. You're also getting a Hesalite crystal on here, so you're not getting a sapphire crystal. That's a choice. They make that choice because it does give you a little bit of a warmer feel on that dial. And I really do believe that's the reason why they use it. Sapphire would be nice, but I think that they use a Hesalite for those reasons. The case measures in just about 39 millimeters. I measured just under 39 millimeters. You get a very thin watch here because of that movement, which is very thin, 9.7 millimeters thick. That's including that boxed Hesalite. So it does actually sit almost a millimeter off of the case. And then you have a lug to lug of about 45 millimeters. It's really just under 45 millimeters. So this will wear really well on most wrists, larger and smaller because of the case design, that tonneau shape, and of course the fact that it is thin. Today on my wrist, I have a really cool chronograph. This is the Chrono Sport from Nevada Grenchen, and it is just cool. I have this on a perforated black leather strap. It's like a rally strap. Just a really good looking, really nicely sized chronograph featuring, I believe, a Valjoux 7750 inside. Different sort of layout. They've left off one of the registers, so it looks really cool. I just love it. And there it is on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's all about the details with watches like this. You have a beautiful suede gray strap and a beautiful buckle on here that has a very nice line of polish. It's brushed. And then the pin for the keeper here, that's in a DLC to match that portion of the case that is blackened. So you have a little bit of that black that you could see around the dial. It's not that noticeable. You really have to find it. You have to look for it to see it. And then there's a little area here between the crown and the case where you can see that black again. This is around a 39 millimeter watch. Like I was mentioning before, that tonneau shape case gives you around a 45 millimeter lug to lug. It wears really good on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's really thin at around 9.7 millimeters is what I measured, a little bit under that. So price on this watch comes in at $989. I think that's a very good price considering they are truly a micro independent brand. They have their own design DNA. The dial here is made by a higher end manufacturer. You're getting that Le Jouperet movement inside, which is truly a premium movement. It's actually more premium than a Sellita SW200. They cost more money. So the fact that they're putting that in here means that they want to put something a little bit more special, and you get to see that movement from the back, and it is a good looking movement. Again, I think better looking than the Sellita SW200 or the ETA equivalent. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. They also make this in a few other sizes. There's a quartz version that is very affordable, and then they make a hand-wound version with a small seconds. That's getting an ETA 7001. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I will put a link to their website down in the description. Definitely check them out if you are interested in one of their watches. Like I said, they make more affordable versions, and then they make, of course, more expensive versions. I believe that the hand-wound version is a little bit more expensive than this version because you are getting an ETA 7001, which is a beautiful movement. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.